What's going on, guys? John Alder here from Codemy.com, and in this video, we're going to work on the models for our e-commerce website with Django and Python. All right, guys, like I said, in this video, we're going to start to work on the models for our e-commerce website. But before we get started, if you like this video, want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com, where I have dozens of courses with thousands of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube50 to get 50% off lifetime membership. It's all my courses, videos, and books for one-time fee, which is insanely cheap. Okay, moving right along. In this video, we want to start to work on the models for our website. We're going to do a couple other things as well, but the models are what allows us to save everything to the database. And we've got a lot of moving parts in any sort of e-commerce website. You've got to keep track of categories of products. You've got to keep track of the products. You've got to keep track of customers, and you've got to keep track of their orders. So we're going to need at least 4 different models, and we're going to start to build those out in this video. We're going to build out the frameworks for all of them and get them up and running, and we'll add things to them as we need them as we go along. So let's head over to our code. I'm using the Sublime Text Editor in the Get Bash terminal as always. And as always, you can find a link to the code in the pinned comment section below, as well as a link to the playlist with all the other videos in this series. So check that out if you haven't so far. So before we get into the code, we need to do a couple of things. So in the last video, we just sort of set up all the basic stuff, but we also need an admin user. And you can see when I go to /admin, it doesn't even work. And if you're familiar with the Django admin system, it's a backend system that lets you do administrative things. So we need to get this up and running very quickly, and it's super easy. So let's head over to our terminal. I'm going to Control-C to break out. I'm in my C/ecom directory. I got my virtual environment turned on. And you'll notice we're in the directory that has the manage.py. That's important. So first, let's go Python manage.py migrate. And you always want to do this when you first start a Django project, because the admin stuff has a bunch of database stuff that needs to be migrated into the project. So now if we run our server again and then come back over here and hit reload, this admin system works now. So let me bring this back down to normal size. Okay, so this is good, but we still can't actually log in because we haven't created a super user yet, an admin user. So let's go ahead and do that. Head back over here, hit Control-C to break out of our server. Now I'm using the Get Bash terminal, so I have to use the winpty command. If you're using any other terminal, you don't have to type winpty, you just have to type the rest of this. So the rest of this is Python manage.py, create SuperUser, all one word. And then just pick a username. I'm gonna pick mine as admin. I always do that. You don't need an email address, but for the password, go ahead and type in a password. You notice nothing appeared on the screen. That's the security feature. And then go ahead and type your password a second time, make sure they match. And okay, we're good to go. So now we can run the server again, come back over here and we can log in, and boom, we see here's our user. There it is. And we're good to go. So you'll notice here, all we have is the users. We also want our models to appear here. So that's what we're going to work on in this video. We're going to start to create those models. But one more very quick thing before we do that, head back over to our code. And in our settings.py file, we need to do a couple of things. First, at the top, we want to import OS. We want to import the operating system library that lets us do operating system stuff. And whenever we create our models, we're going to have pictures, images, right? Our products are going to have product images. So we need to account for that in this settings.py file. So import OS as a start, then come down here to underneath the static URL. And we need to add a couple of things. First, we need a media _URL, set that equal to something. We also need a media _root. We'll set that equal to something. And this is just going to be media. This is the URL. Anytime we upload an image, it'll go on the media directory. And then that root is going to be os.path.join. And then our base _dir, and then we want to put it in the media folder. So this is basically just saying, hey, find the URL that's the base directory, slap this media directory onto it, and then put our images in that directory. So go ahead and save this. This base dir, if you're not familiar, I think it's usually up here at the very top. Yeah, here it is. So we really don't care what this is. This just allows us to create paths and things in our URLs with the system, with the settings. So, okay, go ahead and close that. One more change in our original urls.py file. We need to import that thing that we just created. So let's go from .import settings. We also need to from django.config.urls.static. We want to import static. We're creating static URLs. And to use that, we come down here underneath our URL patterns, and we just add a little plus, And then we add a static function. And this is going to be settings.media_URL. And then that's going to be in our document _root. And we're going to set that equal to settings.media_root. So our media URL is going to be settings.media_root. Go ahead and save this. Settings.media_root is that thing we just created down here. Media root and media URL. Okay. So basically this will just allow us to upload images. And I've talked about this in other Django videos in the past and other playlists. For instance, in our Twitter clone app that we just created in the last playlist, we uploaded a profile picture. We did the same thing here. So if you want to sort of look into that in more detail, you can look at those videos. So go ahead and save this, head back over to our terminal, and you can see there's no errors. So we didn't mess that up too bad, and we should be good to go. So, all right, that's all the preliminary things out of the way. Close this. Now, let's get to the meat of this video. Let's work on our models.py. So open up our models.py file. It's in our store directory, and we can get rid of this. And before we get started, let's import date time, because we want to be able to know when somebody ordered, like the date and the time that they ordered. So we're going to use that. Now we're going to need several different models. So we're going to need a category model. We're going to need a customer model. We're going to need a product model. And we're probably going to need an order model, right? So I put these all as singular because Django will pluralize them. So it'll be customers, products, orders, categories. Now this will be categories, which is kind of weird instead of categories, but whatever, that's fine. So let's just knock these out. So let's create a class of category. And as always, we want to inherit models.model. And these are lowercase L's. I know they kind of look like capital L's. So this is a capital L. See, it's very angular. And this is a lowercase L. This is just the font that Sublime uses. Kind of drives me nuts, but whatever. Models.model. So models is plural and lowercase. Model is capital. And we're pulling this from here, from Django.db models, right? So, okay, there's that. And in fact, let's just very quickly knock out all of these. So class, boom, class, boom, and class, boom. All right, so there we go. All right, so what do we need in a category model? Well, we're gonna have different categories of products, right? And really all we need is a name, right? What's the name of this category? So this is gonna be models.carfield. And we want the max underscore length of this guy to be like, let's say 50, something like that. So then we want to define underscore str underscore pass in self. And then we want to return self.name. Right? So this just allows this to appear in here. We still have to add it later, but we'll see what this does later. So, okay, that's really all we need for the category model, right? So here I could say categories of products. So, all right, we're good there. Here, this is going to be obviously customers. We don't really need a comment, but whatever. So what do we need in a customer model, right? Well, we probably need a first name. Set that equal to something. We're going to need a last name. Let's set that equal to something. We might want their phone number. We probably want their email address. And we probably want them to have a password so that they can log in and out, maybe. So that'll be good there. And again, we just copy this whole thing. We need to sort of define the thing. And maybe we want this self.first underscore name. And let's create an F string for this. And just kind of do it like this. Space in there. And do self.last underscore name. And I misspelled first. There we go. Okay, so that looks good there. So here, what does the first name need to be? Well, basically, it's going to be this guy up here. These are just going to be car fields for the most part. So the first name we want, 50 is fine. 50 max length for that as well. The phone, that's going to be probably more like 10 characters. The email is not going to be a car field. This is going to be, you'll never guess, an email field. Oh, yeah. and for the email length, let's make this say 100. And then the password, that's going to be a car field as well. And for the password, I don't know, let's go 100. Some people have really long passwords, and that looks good. So a bunch of car fields. and one email field. So all right, that looks good. Now here are all of our products, whatever. So what do we think we need in a product model? Well, it needs a name, right? And it probably needs a price. That's probably a good thing. We want to assign it to a category, and we want to give it a description. And we also want an image here, right? So, all right, that looks good. And let's come up here and grab this guy again, and we'll just do the exact same thing down here. Define self.name, that's this guy here. So this will add the product name to our admin backend. So, all right, what do we got here? Well, let's come up here, and a lot of these are going to be car fields. So I'll just copy this again. The name is going to be a car field, and maybe we want 50 characters. I don't know, maybe 100, whatever, if it's a big name. The price, this is going to be a little different. This is going to be models.decimal field, right? Because we don't want integers here. We want this to be like $19.99, right? So we need a decimal field for that. And we're going to set the default for this guy to like 0. So if we don't have any price, it's just going to be free. And then we can define how many decimal places we want. So let's go decimal_places and set that equal to 2. And we also have to sort of define the max digits. So I'm going to set this equal to 6. So if this was $9,999.99, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digits, right? So I don't think anything's going to be more than $9,999. If it's going to be into the tens of thousands, well, then you would change this to 7, right? But I think most of our stuff's going to be under $10,000. So we'll put the max digits at 6. So here, category, this is going to be a models.foreign key. So we want to sort of reference this category model. So we'll use a foreign key for that. And it's going to be on the category model. And let's go on_delete. So anytime we delete a product, we want a models.cascade. And let's set the default category to 1. Whatever our first category is, we don't have any categories yet, but when we do, every time we create a product, if we don't set a category, it'll just default to the first category that we have created. So, okay, that looks good. Finally, we've got a description, and this is also going to be a models.car field. And for the max length, let's go 250, and let's set the default equal to nothing, and let's set the blank equal to true. That means we don't have to have a description. If we don't want to type a description, we don't have to. And we could say null equals true as well. So if it doesn't have a description, no big deal. So, all right, that looks pretty good. The last thing here is image. And here, this is going to be a models.image field, as you would imagine, right? And then we want to upload _to, and we want to set that equal to uploads/product, something like that. So this will go in our media/upload/product directory. Because remember, back here in our settings.py file or our urls.py file, we set this media URL and media root. So if we look at the settings, we remember we just did that. We set that up here to go in the media directory. Okay. So, all right, that looks good. Finally, all the way down here to orders. And order's going to have a lot of things probably, right? You're going to select the product, and that's going to be a foreign key on this guy, right? Spoiler alert, we want to set the customer. Who's the customer? Well, that's going to be a foreign key on probably the customer model, I'm guessing, right? We could probably make that guess. We need to know the quantity. So how many are they buying? We need to know their address. So where are they shipping it to? We need to know their phone number. What's their phone number? We need to know the date that they ordered it. And let's create something called status. This is going to be like, did we ship it or not? Is it open? Is it closed? What's the status? So, all right, that looks good. And for orders, maybe we want this thing in here for now, maybe not. We'll play around with this, but let's create an F string here and put the, let's see, self.product maybe. Yeah, something like that. And maybe customer, but that's a foreign key. So I don't know, let's just leave it at product. So we don't even need an F string. We could just do self.product. So, all right, good enough there. So, all right, let's dig into this guy. This is going to be, like I said, a foreign key. So we want models.foreign key. And this is going to be on a product model. And then let's go on delete. Let's go models.cascade. All right, that looks good. Customer is also going to be a models.foreign key. And you'll never guess, but it's going to be on the customer model. And then again, let me just copy this on delete thing here. We almost always want to do that with our foreign key things. All right, so quantity. In the last thing we did decimal field. Now we want to do models.integer field. Integer field, there we go. And let's set the default equal to 1. So if they're ordering anything, we know they want at least one of them, so we'll set the default to 1. So all right, their address, this is going to be a models.car field, right? And let's set the max underscore length of this to what, like 100, something like that. And let's set the default to nothing. And blank equals true. Maybe we want to set that to false because we really need to have an address, but maybe if it's like an electronic thing, if you're selling them an ebook or something, maybe they won't have an address. They'll just use their email address, whatever. We'll set that to true for now. All right, so phone is also going to be a models.car field. You might think, well, wait a second, phone numbers are numeric. Well, they are, but we always just use the car field for that because a lot of times there's dashes in there or parentheses. You know, you might go 312, 545, 1010, something like that. So that's not an integer, that's a string, right? So we use car field for this. And the max length for a phone number, I don't know, let's say 50. That's probably too many, but maybe 20 is probably enough, right? Yeah, probably. So we want the default also to be nothing, just in case they don't add a phone number. And let's go blank equals true, just in case, like, it's okay if they don't add their phone number, whatever. All right, so date, we want models.date field. And this is going to be a default. We definitely want a default here of datetime dot time dot today. So this will just give the current time and date. And for status, it's going to be a Boolean field. It's going to be true or false. Have we completed this order or not? Have we shipped the order or not? True or false? So that's going to be a models.boolean field. And let's set the default to false, right? Because when they first order, we haven't shipped it yet until we ship it. So by default, it's false. We haven't shipped it yet. We haven't completed it yet, right? Okay, that looks good. So that was a lot of typing. I almost certainly made many errors. So, well, for one, let's give this customer orders, something like that. Nice little comment. So we've created our models. Now we need to make a migration and push that migration into the database. It's always a two-step process. And right here, we're already getting an error. It's saying, hey, you need pillow. And the reason that is because up here, we're dealing with an image and you need pillow, the Python image library, PIL, pillow, in order to deal with images. So let's add that real quick. Let's Control C to break out of here. And to do that, we just go pip install pillow. And that should install that. Now let's run our server again, see if we get any errors. Nope, no errors, wow. So break out of here. So far, so good. Let's go ahead and create that migration now. Let's go Python manage.py, make migrations. And oh, wow, no errors again. So we have got a new model of category. We've got a customer model. We've got a product model, and we've got an order model. Now we've created these migrations. We need to push them into the database. Now we can look at the migration real quick if we want to. I don't know why you would want to, but you can come up here to our migrations folder. And inside of here, you see this is the migration we just created. It has the category, it has the customer, it has the product, and it has the order stuff. So you can look that over if you want, but it's probably fine. Django's good at that. So we've got our migration, now we just need to push it. So let's go Python manage.py migrate. And boom, that seemed to work. So, all right, now let's run our server again. And if we head back over here to our admin section and hit reload, nothing will have changed because we need to add these things to the admin section. And how do we do that? Well, we head over to our, admin.py. And here we need to register our models. So to do that, we go admin.site.register and then add the thing. So we've got 4 models. So we'll add these, and this is going to be the category model. It's going to also be the customer model. And we also have a product model and finally an order model. And we need to import all those models. So let's go from .models. We want to import category, customer, product, and order. Okay, so that looks good. Go ahead and save this. Now, if we head back over here and hit reload, boom, we've got categories. Notice the spelling. Instead of IES, it's YS. Django just slaps a S on the end of each one. So even though it's the customer model, it lists it here as customers. It's the order model, but it's listed here as orders, products, etc. So let's go to categories. Let's see if this works. Let's add a category. And I don't know, let's call cell phone. Cell phone category. All right, so there it says cell phone. That looks good. That's the name. So now we can click on products and let's add some products. So let's create a just very generic. Let's go iPhone. The price of this is going to be $999.99. It's in the cell phone category. And this is an iPhone. Woohoo. I don't think I have any pictures of iPhones. So instead, let's use a picture of me and Aspen and click save. Now, if we come back here, you can see there's that image. And you'll notice it's in our media /upload/product and then the name of the image. So that is pretty cool. Also, if we come back over here, we can see there should now be a media directory that's been created. It's got an uploads directory and a product directory, and inside of there, there's our image. Very cool. So that seems to work. Now let's head back over here to product. Let's create another one. And I'm just going to call this Android, like that. The price of that is $899.99. It's in a cell phone category. This is an Android right, phone. And there we go here. Ooh, let's see. Let's do what? Bill Gates. I don't know why I have a picture of Bill Gates. But okay, now we've got Android. And if we click this, there's old Bill. And we're off to the races here. We've got orders. We can create an order here. You can pick your product. We don't have any customers yet. Address, phone, date, status. Very cool. Here's our customers. We add a customer, first name, last name, phone, email, address, password. All right, we are moving right along. So, man, we went over a lot of stuff very quickly in this video, but we've got now the groundwork to sort of build out our app. The models are the most important thing. They're going to keep track of everything, and we just bang that out pretty quickly and not too hard. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube50 to get 50% off lifetime membership. So that's access to all my courses, almost 60 courses, thousands of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Doing over 180,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from Codemy.com, and I'll see you in the next video.